Right now, we need to talk about rapid fire mock drafts. Unfortunately, I didn't include the Cal McNair photo. My God, who's letting this guy run anything?
Well, his dad owns the company. What do you mean?
Well, his dad's dead, but
I understand that, but his dad was the
he
original
owns
owner
the company
because his dad passed away. He got it through nepotism.
I am inherently aware of how that works.
Yes, this is true.
So the Bears have the number one pick for the first time since I think 1942?
47.
47. Thank you. All right, fine. I'll give you senior draft analyst stats for that. If you had to do a rapid fire mock draft, top 10, what would it look like, Ryan Wilson?
Well, I'm glad you asked because you can watch With the First Pick podcast tomorrow at 2 p.m. and we'll go through those things today on Monday with my buddy Rick Spielman. But for the purposes of this podcast and mock draft,
you like Rick Spielman more than me, by the way?
I'll give you 1,000
Listen,
names.
don't ask questions you don't want to answer to.
Right. I'll give you 1,000 names to ask, and you can start with some of the worst people in human history, and we'll go from there. We'll work our way from the bottom. So anyway, so here's the thing. As I was doing this podcast, I got a text from a scout that said the Bears are not taking Jalen Carter number one. I said, yeah, I think they're going to trade down, but I don't do trade downs in the podcast.
Before you move on, there is a little chatter, a little buzz.
It's not they're not taking a quarterback.
They're going to trade Justin Fields.
They're not trading Justin Fields. So as we sit here, though,
you're saying they will not trade Justin Fields.
As we sit here, number one, I have the Bears taking Jalen Carter, although they'll almost certainly look to trade down because there will be teams will be looking for quarterbacks. Number two of the Texans taking Bryce Young, which is I had them taking Bryce Young anyway when they had the number one pick. So that would be a silly reason to fire Lovey in case unless you just wanted whoever the Bears end up picking at number one, even though you don't know who it is. The Cardinals, by virtue of losing, now get to number three. So they're going to get in this mock draft Will Anderson, but they get Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, which feels like a huge get. Although Brinson's mentioned Justin Fields' future. Who knows what Kyler Murray's future is? His ACL is currently, I don't think he's had surgery yet. And if he has, he has so he's 9 or 10 months away from returning.
Waited a while.
So number four, the Colts, CJ Stroud, which feels like another Jim Irsay falling ass backwards into a quarterback situation because CJ Stroud absolutely balled out the game of his life against Georgia last weekend. And that was even a needle mover for some NFL teams because they had not very many questions, but some questions. And I think he answered those in that game. So good for him. At number five, the Broncos should be on the clock where they could draft a quarterback. They are not on the clock. That pick went to the Seahawks, and they're taking Myles Murphy, the edge rusher out of Clemson. Lions are at 6 via the Matthew Stafford trade. They take an edge rusher as well, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. He and Myles Murphy both are long, sort of just physical freaks that are going to get better. At 7, the Raiders are on the clock. Breach, I just mentioned a year ago, Derek Carr was headed to Cincinnati. He's going to be elsewhere, I would imagine. It would be crazy if he somehow came back to Las Vegas. I haven't taken Will Levis, who is going to be as controversial as Mac Jones, maybe more so.
And the Raiders taking Will Levis?
Yeah, at 7. And it's going to be interesting to see the comps with Justin Herbert as well, because Justin Herbert's thing was being physically everything you want. Had a tough senior season, but nowhere near as terrible as Will Levis's last year at Kentucky. It was not even it's night and day. But teams I've talked to absolutely are all in on Will Levis, which is curious. At 8, I have the Falcons taking Joey Porter Jr., the first cornerback off the board over Keely Ringo. At 9, the Panthers are now out of the quarterback conversation of the top 3 guys because they keep winning games. So at 9, David Tepper's going to have to trade up because Brinson, I think you would agree, David Tepper is out of the free agent quarterback market. Look, I don't feel like Derek Carr is going to be an answer in Carolina.
Depends on the head coach, but yes, generally speaking, no one wants to play for him.
It feels like David Tepper's done with going to that well. So if that's the case, and maybe not, maybe Derek Carr changes his mind.
If David Tepper was poor, he would not be the owner of the Panthers. Let's put it that way.
So that means that David Tepper is going to have to trade up if he wants one of these top 3 quarterbacks, and that's good news for the Bears. Although if they go from 9 to 1, that's boy, but that's something to watch out. 10, the Eagles have the Saints pick from all the crazy things the Saints did last draft. They take an offensive tackle, Paris Johnson Jr. Titans take Jordan Addison, the wide receiver at USC, formerly of Pitt, who is awesome. I don't know if he solves all the Titans' issues. They could be in the quarterback market, I suppose. 12, the Texans have their pick from Cleveland. They take an offensive tackle who can also play guard, and Peter Skoronski. And then the Jets at 13, I'll stop there because that's the last
Oh, I thought you
quarterback.
were 32.
No, I meant to,
31. The Dolphins have no first round pick.
that's right. 31. 32 is the Steelers pick. Thanks, Chase Claypool. But the 13th pick is the Jets. I'm taking a quarterback, Anthony Richardson, out of Florida. He may not go that high. I know teams are a little nervous about him, but he has a chance to be special down the road.
So, Breach, out of all these teams,
I had the Panthers taking Quentin Johnston, by the way. Sorry, why Big Jordan, the tall wide receiver at TCU.
there
So
were 4 teams who traded their future first round picks. Seattle traded one to, or Denver traded one to Seattle, Rams to Detroit, Saints to Philly, and the Browns to Houston. Who regrets it the most?
Not the Rams because they won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
It,
Not Seattle because they made the playoffs and got the pick. Just
the
kidding.
Broncos regret it the most.
Russ looked
Although-
pretty good on Sunday.
The Browns might. I mean,
stop it.
it looks like maybe with a competent coach, it's going to be like Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson. If they get someone good in there, maybe they'll be okay. Or maybe that's just me trying to justify picking them to win the Super Bowl and the worst pick.
if they
of
get
the
Sean
year.
Payton, like that might be. If Sean Payton takes that job, which has been rumored, I'm concerned about dragging Russ because I feel like Sean Payton could make Russ cook again.
don't fall for it. That's all
I think the
I'm
Don't
biggest
fall
losers.
for it, Brenton. I fell for it. Just don't fall for it.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it.
Okay,